What is up, everyone? Hope things are going well, that you're having a good week so far. If not, take a second, relax, and enjoy an episode over the weekend. Kick back, relax, please, because life is too crazy. So, this episode is called Bi Representation. This was very interesting to me because bisexual representation is getting better. I'm not saying it's the greatest, but it's getting better because more often than not, what you see in even TV shows and movies, you see the sassy gay friend, but you don't see the straight passing guy who goes home to his boyfriend. No, 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 no. They're not ready for that. It's got to be all sassy or no sassy. And it's wild. The depictions that people perceive. And it's funny sometimes. But we'll get into that. This episode is all about honoring diversity because that's something that people seem to just lose it about. They want everybody to be themselves and be happy and this, that, and the other, but they don't want to take everything that goes with it. Some good, some bad, some weird, this, that. It's all over the place. But if you just go through life, mind your damn business, you and everybody else would be 10 times better. But that is not how life works. It's a crazy place, folks. It's a crazy one. But before I really get into things, welcome to the show. I'm Charles Rome. This is the Bi Friend podcast because everybody needs a bi friend. They've got some good perspectives on things. Okay, so let's go over some times in time to give you some perspective on how things have been rough for not that long, but long enough. So, early 1900s, if you were even considered bisexual, which they weren't even talking really about that, but 1900s early, you're just a sexual deviant. That's what you are. You want to go around and have sex with who? Damn, you need to control yourself. So that's in early 1900s. Morally ambiguous. Oh, you'll just stick it in any hole, huh? That's how they looked at you. Then you move into the 40s, into the 80s, right? From the 40s to 80s. Listen, they're saying, oh, it's a phase. People still don't know what the hell is going on. Bisexual. You like men and women? You greedy son of a bitch. And this is when the movies were coming out, and if you were gay or even considering calling yourself bisexual, you were a villain, right? They had the villain tropes. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. Now you move into the 90s, where it's the rise of bi visibility. But now you still, in the rise of bi erasure. Remember that episode? That's where people invalidate your feelings by trying to, lessen the blow. Oh, you're bisexual? Oh, you're probably just confused. It's okay. Just give it some time. Give it some time. That's life. Oh, no. You're bisexual? Oh, it's a phase. Give it some time. Give it some time. Just trying to erase what you're saying by invalidating it. It's a real thing. It happens. It happens more often than you think. And then we move into the 2000s. Now there's more understanding. Celebrities are coming out. Hey, I'm bisexual. The biggest one everybody talks about is David Bowie. I mean, yeah. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. But now, from the 2000s to the 2010s, that's when I really noticed things started changing. People became more accepting. They just wanted to live their lives. And guess what? People did because they didn't want to just fuck with random people. That's crazy that someone has hatred in their heart to the point that they are willing to get out of their car and run up to someone and say something to them. Could you imagine? I couldn't. All right, let's get back into this. So now we get to the 2010s to now. You have greater representation. People are recognizing the fluidity, and they're recognizing the different, I don't want to say versions, but the different branches of bisexuality, I guess you want to say. You could be omnisexual, pansexual. It goes on. I can't think of everything, but that's a lot. And I understand why people sometimes are like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't either. I just know what I got going on. That's all I can talk about. But now you got all these things going on, more visibility, less stereotypical jokes. Think about it. There's more gay best friends in shows. But I'm telling you, I still need to see some bisexual men in TV shows. Like, let's see a couple of big burly dudes look like they just hand fucking cut lumber all day. And then they go home to their little twink boyfriend. Give us that. We don't need the sassy all the time. We get it. Let's switch it up a little bit. That's what I want to see. But that ain't going to happen because people would melt. Think about that. They would. And then you do it near the end of the season. The big dude always goes home, but you never see who's cooking the meal. They always show like the outside of the house, and they're like, this is an amazing meal, honey. And then near the end of the first season, you actually meet who honey is. See? They need to do some shit like that. That's what I'm saying. And before I get completely out of control and off topic, the new generation, they know so much more. And they are so much more understanding because there are so many people that are out of the closet, that are still in the closet, just waiting. And I know you got to worry about safe spaces. So I understand why waiting would be an option. But this new generation is not like 60 years ago. They are a lot more accepting. And I tell you what, I'm so damn happy about that because that lets me know that there is hope and that there is slow progression. Progress is progress. And guess what? Like I said before, in 100 years, Everybody's going to look the same. Everybody's just going to love everything. It's not going to be like, oh, you like this? Well, everybody's going to like it. And we ain't going to be here to talk about it. So, what you going to do? Fluidity challenges society's expectations. That's why society is scared. It's change, it's something different. That's why if aliens came to Earth, we'd probably beat them to death because we just don't understand. They're probably the friendliest. These are probably the friendliest aliens that we would probably ever encounter, and we're just afraid, so we just beat them all to death. And they just wanted to help us. They're like, "Hey, we can give you technology so your cars can run on fucking dreams." But guess what? No. That wouldn't happen because we would beat them and harvest their bodies and try and research. And they were just trying to help us. So, yeah, society is scared of what they don't know or understand. But guess what? Bisexuality is not fixed, it's fluid. It flows like the water. You can put it in something, but it's still in there. It's still in there. You can make it calm. You can agitate it. You can swirl that bitch into a tornado. But guess what? It's still in that vessel, whatever it is, cup, jar, mug, It's there. It's not going to be the same. It's moving around. It's fluid, baby. All right. So in 1985, Liz Nania, hope I'm saying that right. Hope I'm not butchering her name. But she said, you know what? We need a symbol for the bisexual community. And she created the biangles. So you've got two triangles that overlap, pink, blue, and then in the middle, purple. I love the name. Has everything in it. Bi angles. That's what it is. It's every angle. Bisexuality is about angles, different ones. You can hit fucking 15 different angles, and it's all something different. It's never the same. And then in 1998, a guy named Michael Page, who was inspired by the biangles from 85, created the bi flag, which now went with rectangles. So just lines of pink, purple, blue, nothing overlapping, just all the colors right there. Now, I have a few pins and flags, but I do not have any biangles. I think that would be cool as a couple of stickers. And like I said before, places and people are recognizing bisexuality a lot more. When I went to my second Pride Festival, there was more bisexual stuff the second time around. The first time I was like, well, should I even be here? And then the second year I was like, okay, this is better. This is slightly better, but it's better. Better's better than better. You know what really sucks is that sometimes the bi representation that is out there now messes with people's views of bisexual people. So, like I said earlier, they usually show up as the villain or the vixen or the crazy ex. And that's how they usually do that for bisexual people. The confused people, they make them just angry. But then if you're going to have a show with a gay best friend, then guess what? They're going to be happy. So I guess bisexuals are angry. I guess that's what they're trying to say. And sometimes for me, this can or could lead to triple discrimination. And that's from straight people who don't understand, gay people who don't understand, or for me, black people who don't understand. And the discrimination for bisexual people is usually quieter. You know, if nobody believes you, then what do? It's not like the other groups where some of the actions and what they do are visible. You know, you want to change your complete sex, that's visible. If I like males or females, you're not just going to outwardly know that. So I think I don't know. I don't know how I'm trying to word this or explain it, but yeah, I think the discrimination in the bisexual community is up there because it's even quieter. You can get some sexist, racist piece of shit could get away with I feel a lot more. But I mean, look what they did. Like, I always think about this now. When they had who was that? Dylan Mullaney on the what was that, Bud Light? Shit, what was that, like 4 years ago now? Damn. But yeah, they had her on the Bud Light and people lost their minds. People were so homophobic that Modelo became the number one beer in the United States. Now, for something like that, I don't think if you were bi, I think you would probably. I don't know. You might. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe you'd get away with a little more with something like that, but I don't know. I'm just talking, just throwing things out there, just trying to figure some shit out. It's it's life. This is hard to figure out. You can't understand other people. I don't know how all this is going to go by the end of this, but I'm glad I'm doing it. And I hope that I figure something out after these episodes to make myself a little more visible so that I can be sort of like a beacon of hope for someone who is struggling and stressed out because this ain't easy. I'm not saying it is by any means. This is not easy. Sometimes I'm like, man, should I just stop? What am I doing? Why did I do this? And I think to myself, you know what? You wanted to get your story out there. You're getting it out there. And if people don't like you, fuck them. You have enough friends, and you've already gone over the fact that you have the right friends in your corner. So keep moving, Charles. You got this, baby. All right, let's get back into this. I had to give myself a little pep talk, and I'm glad you were here for it. The one thing you don't think about are labels, how they can hurt and help. Because I'm not big on labels personally, but when I started doing all of this, I said, hey, I guess I'm going to put a label on it. And I went for bisexuality because that's what it feels like to me. I like a little bit of everything. Not all, but a good bit of a lot of stuff. And like I said, some people avoid them and some people embrace them. I'm trying to embrace me and just move on with life. Mental health is the focus. At least that's what it needs to be. Because if you're right in the mind, then guess what? Everything else will follow. What do they say? Mind over matter. What matter? It doesn't matter. but all matter. That's what they're saying. Your mind is so fucking powerful that if you think it, it can come true. Think about when you've heard someone say, hey, there's power in words, because there are. You don't want to manifest bad things. You know, when they say, don't put yourself down constantly, because guess what? You'll start believing it. You're not just saying it, now you're believing it and living it, and you're reinforcing it. You need to get up and spew positivity. At least if it's not every second, you need to start the day out like that. And that's what I'm trying to do. More positivity for a sharper mind and less self-doubt. Because mental health needs to be top priority. And I've noticed that a lot, and I mean a lot of people, put themselves dead last. And that's where you're going to be. Dead last. If you don't focus on yourself. Let me tell you a little secret. This right here is bisexual representation. This is me taking time out of my day to represent my community. And I think I'm doing a good job. And I hope a bunch of people listen to this, enjoy it, and are able to take something from it. But there are different outlets where there are, but could be more bisexual representation. Podcasts, poetry, fashion, photos, video games, journalism. I don't want to say memes because there's plenty of those. Music, tweets, old mythology, all of this stuff has bisexual representation and could definitely use more from time to time. Fashion, I mean that's fashion. It's already partly in there. Video games, they're doing their best, but they're still making the bisexual person the villain or the vixen, like I said earlier, or they're just not doing that at all and just going gay or lesbian. Like, hey, there's an in between. Hello, right in the middle, stuck in the middle with you. Journalism, I don't know. I don't really know too many journalists in the LGBT community. Music, you just saw Lil Nas X. He was walking around the streets doing drugs and boots and underwear. I don't know what's going on. So there's they're getting that representation out there. And I said old mythology. Dude, that is all they were doing. They had their harem of fucking everything. Men, women. But they really liked the twinks. They really liked the twinks. You could dress a dude up to look like your wife, and he could fight alongside you in battle? Let's get nasty. You know, the kings and the gods back then had 17 wives and 14 male fuck slaves chained up in the basement, and nobody batted an eye. They were just happy to get food and water for that day. They didn't give a fuck what anybody else was doing. Please, sir, can I have some more bread? And that's all they were worried about. Hey, I know it's rough, but time will slowly realign itself and make everything a-okay. Just continue to be yourself, love yourself, be true to yourself, and just have fun. That's all you can do. That is all you can do. Live your life. And now it's time for me to say goodbye. So thank you for joining me on this episode. bi representation. Because, look, things are going to change, things are going to get positive, things will become stronger and more cohesive, and people will hopefully be more understanding in the future. We'll see. We shall see. Don't forget to let your friends know about this podcast and that I'm on YouTube every episode and wherever you podcast, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you again. Be safe. I'll see you next week. Bye.